With me today I have Archy Beals, and Archie, you're running for the African Nova Scotian School Board seat, correct?
Yes.
So tell us a bit about what made you decide to run.
Well, what made me decide to run was the fact that our young people in school, our African Nova Scotian learners, are still not academically performing where they need to. I think we need to step outside of the box with providing the education that we need for our African Nova Scotian learners. I don't think our African Nova Scotian learners are being properly prepared for post-secondary or even to go into the workforce. So my premise of running is to think outside of the box and think of innovative ways that we can provide them with the education they need to be successful in post-secondary in the workforce and to be global citizens.
That's right. Now, if you were to give us a bit about your platform, say the three things that you're most concerned about when it comes to that you would like to take to the school board if you were to be successful in winning the seat, what would three important issues be for you in terms of being an advocate for African Nova Scotian learners?
I think one of the first things I would do is look at providing Afrocentric programming to our students, because when students know who they are, where they come from in a positive light, they feel better about themselves. And if you feel better about yourself, you're ready and willing and able to learn. So that would be number one priority. Number two would be to look at the high suspension rate of our students, especially our black men. And with that, look at how we can curb that trend so that our men, black learners, can be more progressive, so that we don't have a lot of these crimes that we have in our communities. And third thing is the number of our students who are on IPP, and also with the achievement gap, how wide it is and how it's widening. So to look at ways of being creative to narrow that achievement gap and to provide our students with the education that they need so that they can be competitive.
Excellent. How can the African Nova Scotian community support you?
How can they support me? By getting out on October 15th and voting for me as your African Nova Scotian rep. I have 25 years plus in the education system formally, plus working in the community education and community capacity building since I was 15 years old. And what I want to do is be the voice of the community. I don't want to take my voice to the board. I want to take the voice of the community to the board. So collaborating with the community to find out what their issues are and how we can come together to solve those issues is what I would want to take to the board. Excellent. So being there as a support and advocate for the community.
Good. I understand that the Minister of Education is talking about reviewing some 17 schools over in Dartmouth, and that some schools such as like Auburn and Cole Harbour High and so on will all be under review. There's a potential that there could be some school closings because I believe that there's a new school that is going to be built in Eastern Passage. How do you think that might affect African Nova Scotian learners? That's
going to have a drastic effect on our African Nova Scotian learners. Number one, I think there's too many schools in the review. There's 17 schools that are being reviewed under the Cole Harbour and Auburn family of schools. In a 9-month period, I think that's unrealistic. That's setting the process up to fail. Number two, with the new school being built in Eastern Passage, it's going to decrease the number of students at Cole Harbour, which will have an effect on Auburn. We have 5 high schools in Dartmouth already. All 5 of them are underpopulated. So why would we want to build a new school to take away from what already exists, to make the situation even worse? I think it's a bit of a waste. And even with having a new school, if you don't have the population to have programming and sports, that would be competitive to the students doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, excellent. So what's the last thing that you'd like to say to our viewers? What would you like to say to them?
Get out and vote for someone who's going to be your voice of change and someone who's going to be there to make some real good positive movements to advance the education of our African Nova Scotian learners for the positive. Someone who has new, fresh ideas. I have a background in Afrocentric leadership with a master's degree, so looking and thinking outside of the box and thinking outside of the four walls of the structure of the curriculum that we have, delivering the curriculum but delivering it in a way that will make our students more positive, thinking about themselves and who they are.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.